Welcome to Freelance Sucks. Here we discuss the dark side of freelancing about which nobody usually talks out loud. In this show, we speak with experienced freelancers, and I'm sure listening to their stories helps you prepare for freelancers' challenges. My name is Yuri, I'm a community builder at Code Control and 9am.works, and my guest is Pelin Kazak Bagatur, a product design and UX leader with 13 years of professional experience, 5 of which are as a freelancer and focus on driven human-centered impact. So, welcome, Pelin.
Thank you, Yuri. Happy to be here.
Let's start with the easiest question. For you, as a freelancer, what is the most challenging part of being a freelancer?
Like first, I thought I would say clients or some like finding clients or something, but it's actually finding my title.
Tell me more
Like,
about this.
so what do I call myself on LinkedIn? So people can find me and understand that I'm like doing what I do. I had so many iterations, especially last year. So I moved from Berlin to London, and it could be the time, it could be the different cities as well, but lead product designer or slash like lead product slash UX designer was what I had there, and freelance. And then I came here and felt like maybe freelance, or is it the one that's being like fairly paid? Because like depending on the title, the
Hmm.
day rate changes. So
Hmm.
should it be contract? Should it be consultant? Should it be freelance? Um, and then there's this title of fractional head of design coming up, which is I actually do. So like, what should I write there to actually get on the in front of the right people that are looking for my skill set? I had many iterations, I think. Right now, right now, who knows? It's like I think product design leader, and then I have CX in there, customer experience, because that's also something I do, and design strategy. Yeah, that's such a back and forth. So right now it works for me, um, but I'm considering maybe adding the fractional head of design instead of product design leader. It's just ongoing.
Why is it important to have this right specific title on LinkedIn? How does it work?
For like if people are searching, what are they searching for? So because I'm a freelancer, I want clients to find me, and especially moving to a new city, not many people know me yet. And in Berlin, that wasn't a problem because I already had my network of people and it was mostly word of mouth. I thought it would be important, the title, but honestly, now the clients I'm working with in London, they also came through word of mouth. So
Hmm.
maybe it's not that important, but I put some thoughts on it. And yeah, it was challenging.
Yeah, it's interesting, because once some person, Ilker, he called me a community psychologist, and I was like, yeah, okay, I will just add community psychologist on my LinkedIn, and then people are connecting with me. Oh, you're doing community psychology? Tell me more about this. And I was like, yeah, I'm just community psychologist by Ilker. So it's it's not a real title, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And if when you are creating a title, what do you personally really want to add there? What do you really want to see there and why it's important for you?
Yeah. Because like this is the challenge and this is the part that I don't have the answer. So right now, for example, I added my school in there, like that I'm alumni from there. And then I added my expertise of like business design, customer experience, design strategy, and UX. Um, also there so to be easily found, but I'm also looking for what is the, let's say, like what are people looking and searching for right now. I have a feeling UX is kind of becoming outdated,
Hmm.
and it's more like going towards like business strategy, design strategy, and customer experience. And I'm doing all of them. So looking for what's the right word. And these are like almost like trends. Sometimes what we do doesn't change so much, but like how it's talked about changes. So I'm adding those to kind of see what happens.
No, it's interesting that you mentioned that because we recently published a blog post on code control part. It was our freelancer who were writing an article about data science and how data science titles changed over the time. And now to find really good projects, like there is a list of different titles where he has to search to understand that it's exactly data science. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's super important for every freelancer to understand how your clients may call what you do and
Yeah.
to really ensure that you have this in your title and your keywords on LinkedIn, and also when you're applying for jobs that you know at least how they code so you can apply to them. And also I understand that if someone who's listening knows how to create the best title ever, please message Pelin right away, and also message me, please. I also want to know this. So let's share your experience openly. Please do.
Yeah. And also another challenge is finding the day rate between like switching cities.
Hmm.
And the day rate is linked to the title. So like when I check reports, there's a day rate for product designer, there's a day rate for UX designer, there's a day rate for design strategist. So I was also looking into those, or like customer experience designer. So like what is the day rate? Where do I want to be? And also deciding like that.
Talking about the rate, where do you usually find the information about average rates?
Um, some recruiters share
Hmm.
like like the past 6 months. So whenever I find it, I also send it to like a couple of freelancer friends around me, and they do the same. So we keep an eye on how it's going.
Sounds like you have your small community of freelancers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Couple of
what is the most time consuming thing you must deal with as a freelancer, except for professional work itself?
time-consuming thing. When I tried being more active on LinkedIn, that was time-consuming for me because it was something I'm not used to.
Mhm.
And yeah, I wanted to make it a habit, but because it was so time consuming, I couldn't turn it into a habit. So now I'm still posting once in a while, if there's something, like important that I want to announce, but I would actually like to be, like turn it into a habit. Didn't happen.
You know what I heard from our previous guests who are ghostwriters or experts on LinkedIn, what they say that you have to kind of create your content strategy. And for example, on Monday, I share this type of post. On Tuesday, I share this type, etc. And you don't really have to post a lot, like at least 1, 2 times a week. It's totally enough. And you don't really have to post exactly at that day. I mean, like write a post exactly at that day. So anytime you have, you were telling on a freelance life part about the journaling. So for example, you are journaling, you have some thoughts, then you create a backlog of thoughts. And then every time you prepare a post, you can even prepare a lot of posts, for the
Yeah.
future. So every time you just, so the main things on LinkedIn is to be consistent,
Yeah.
and you don't really have to, like write every day, like on weekends too. So yeah, I will definitely share with you some conversations with freelancers on LinkedIn. I think that they might be helpful for you.
Yeah.
And
I listened to some of them actually from your podcast.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice to know. Thank you very much. And what is the most nerve-wracking thing that you must deal with as a freelancer?
I wonder if the answer is always the same, like negotiating day rate.
Oh, why? Okay, tell me why.
um, well, um, like there's this average, and then um, we excel on our like jobs, and then something special we do kind of makes it above the average.
Mm.
So communicating that and building the case around it. I recently actually started enjoying it a bit more than before because that reminds me of like what is special about working with me. But still, like talking about money is something like it's been 5 years almost of freelancing, but I'm still getting used to being comfortable about, you know, talking about money and um, talking about the reasons why it should be the case and so on.
So still, how do you talk about money with clients?
Um, how do I? So I share my day rate, and then um, they say what they think, and then it's usually written. I
Mhm.
think face to face is even more awkward, um, because like in businesses, it's usually two different people who are talking about the money and who are doing the work. As a freelancer, it's the same person.
Yeah.
So it has advantage and disadvantage. So I bring that, like doing the job part in, and I say, because this is what I'll bring, and I also talk with KPIs and ROI. So
Mm.
giving some examples of like some projects and how it affected the business numbers, that helps.
Mm.
And still we look for a middle ground. So like maybe if it's a startup, if there's an option for like equity or I don't know, like what other ways, like maybe this fractional role comes in, then, like I could say, because I don't do UI,
Mhm.
but do rather strategy, I could, like come in ad hoc and then have rather a check-in. So like kind of talking with the also like how I work. And instead of day rates, another thing I do is doing project rates. So
Mm. Am
uh, giving like kind of like a rough days for that project. So it will be like a 3 months project, and I will spend around 10 days for it.
Am I hearing it correctly that you are mostly talking about the value and the result that you can bring, and
Yeah.
then like, oh, by the way, it will cost this amount of money?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And day rate doesn't work that much. Yeah.
Mm. As a freelancer, do you ever feel professional loneliness?
Ah. Well, I felt a lot in the beginning. That's why I became interested in community design.
Mm.
Like how, and then I looked for freelance communities. Now there are some communities that I'm in, and like also I have ongoing clients that I also feel connected now. It feels good, yeah, now, but like in the first, I would say 1-2 years, that was the biggest challenge for me. Going from like a company with more than 100 designers to sitting
Yeah,
solo at home, that was really difficult.
got it. If your friend wanted to become a freelancer, what are top three things you'd advise them to consider before doing it?
Save money first, have savings, because this is a risk. It could, and then the second thing is give it a try. Like, if your life allows to take that risk, give it a try. You don't know if you'll be in a place that you can try it out again. Yeah, if you don't have any like financial responsibilities and so on, it's a good time to give it a try, and it could be very rewarding. But also be prepared to that it might not be the thing that you want, because there are so many ups and downs. It's a different way of living life.
Hmm.
Like not only working is a different way of living life. So maybe it's not for you, but you'll only know if you try it out.
Yeah, it's totally definitely good to people to know that it's okay to try freelancing and then kind of come back to full time if you understand that it's not for you. Because, like, as you mentioned before, freelancer, it's not just you are doing all the things you enjoy to do. You have to be a salesperson, you have to be a marketer, you have to build professional brand, you have to be a copywriter, you have to deal with taxes and stuff. So basically, it's
Yeah.
running a whole business by yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, you have to really, really understand what you are getting into.
Yeah.
And I wish to have the sky is the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, if you were starting freelancing today, what is one thing you would have done differently?
Mm. Finding a very good accountant that I can trust. I had made some mistakes and understood my taxes wrong in the beginning.
Hmm.
And I thought I had more money than I actually had. And learning that for the first time was a shock.
Yeah, totally, totally. Did you get any fines?
No, no, I didn't get any fines. But I'm glad I didn't buy something with that money. And then because yeah, both my health insurance and like taxes increased, but my accountant didn't tell me in time, and it was going backwards for 2 years. So not only tax, I also had to pay increased health insurance, and like I could have bought something with that like money. And yeah, luckily it was there. I gave it. It was a shock, but I didn't have any fines or didn't have any debts.
Yeah, totally find a good accountant for sure. For sure. Okay, Pelin, thank you so much for sharing your experience and for having such an open conversation.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed it, Yuri.
And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button, 5 stars, and share it with your friend. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.